Hello and welcome to Spectrum TV News at 2. I am Francis Oyima Edet, coming to you live from the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. Senate resumes plenary set to screen 3 ministerial nominees. Gunmen kidnap 5 female students in Katsina University. Plus, U.S. President Joe Biden unveils new student loan. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for joining us. First in the news this afternoon is a report from the Red Chambers where the 3 ministerial candidates nominated by President Bola Tinubu are expected to be screened by the Senate as it resumes plenary today. The nominees to be screened today are Balarebe Lawal from Kaduna State, Jamila Ibrahim from Kwara State, and Ayodele Olawande from Ondo State. Recall that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio yesterday read a letter from President Tinubu requesting the confirmation of ministerial nominees. And while the Senate in August 2023 screened and confirmed 45 ministerial nominees and rejected 3 of them. Notable among those not confirmed include former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, Stella Okote from Delta State, and Abubakar Danladi from Taraba State. From the Red Chambers is a report that the Senate has warned President Bola Tinubu against illegal spending. The lawmakers advised the president to seek a supplementary budget for its compressed natural gas CNG initiative. The Senate also advised against extra budgetary expenditure through Ways and Means, saying the legislature was ready to support and bring succor to the people. Still from the Red Chambers is a report that the Senate has amended its rule to restrict first-time senators from vying for the position of the Senate President and Deputy Senate President. Reports say the amendment of 3 Section 2 and subsection 1, 2, and 3 followed a motion moved by the Senate leader Poyemi Bamidele on the amendment of the standing orders of the Senate pursuant to Order 109 of the Senate Standing Orders 2022. Meanwhile, Rule 3 of the Senate Standing Orders, as amended, now stipulates that any senator wishing to contest for the position of the Senate President and Deputy Senate President must have spent a minimum of 1 term in the Senate. In a separate development, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, has reacted to the controversy surrounding President Bola Tinubu's academic records from the Chicago State University, CSU. Recall that the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the last election, Atiku Abubakar, had approached the U.S. District Court in Northern Illinois to compel the CSU to release President Tinubu's academic records to him, and U.S. Court, in its ruling, ordered CSU to release Tinubu's academic records to Atiku. Reacting, the Minister of Foreign Affairs said the government is unboarded and referred to the allegations as frivolous issues aimed at distracting the administration of Bola Tinubu. In another development, the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, NSEMAA, has today released the names and photos of some recovered bodies of victims of the boat accident which occurred on Monday. NSEMA spokesman Hazian Ibrahim said the late Mona Ezekiel was from Kebbi State, while Bilyaminu Kontagora Dauda Kasabu and Iliya Bashuru were all from Niger State. Ibrahim also disclosed that 2 more bodies have been recovered from the river this morning, and the agency will make their names available as soon as they get the details. On party matters, the All Progressives Congress APC has suspended its campaign for the November 11th Kogi State governorship election. The campaign was suspended as a mark of respect for Khadijat Yahaya, a member of the party who died after an attack by suspected thugs. Khadijat allegedly lost her life after a clash between supporters of the Social Democratic Party SDP and those of the APC in Kotun Cafe on September 29th. Meanwhile, the state APC governorship candidate Osman Ododo has visited the family of the deceased to sympathize with them over her demise. Ododo expressed shock at her demise and prayed to God for the repose of her soul. On judicial matters, the Ondo State House of Assembly has given a fresh directive to the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Olusegun Odusola, to set up a 7-man panel to investigate the allegation of gross misconduct against the Deputy Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa. The Assembly began the impeachment process against the Deputy Governor last week, serving him with a notice containing 14 allegations of gross misconduct. The House at yesterday's plenary said the Deputy Governor had yet to respond to the allegations. Majority Leader Oluwole Ogomola Sui therefore moved a motion to direct the Chief Judge to set up a panel to commence Ayedatiwa's probe. The motion was seconded by Felix Afer. In his remarks, the Speaker of the Assembly, Olamide Oladije, confirmed the alleged failure of Ayedatiwa to respond to the allegations, said the letter of notice was received by the Chief Protocol Officer of the Deputy Governor on Ayedatiwa's behalf. In another development, gunmen suspected to be bandits have abducted 5 female students of the Federal University Dutson Ma Footman in Katsina State. Reports say the students were abducted from their residence situated behind Mariamo Ajeri Memorial International School along Shakia Road at about 2:30 a.m. today. The Katsina State Police Public Relations Officer ASP Abubakar Sadiq Aliyu also confirmed the abduction and disclosed that some suspect had been apprehended in connection with the case. He also noted that investigation was ongoing to uncover the circumstances surrounding the incident and secure the safe release of the abducted students. Meanwhile, the Rivers State Police Command says it had begun a full-scale investigation into the explosion that claimed many lives at an illegal oil refining site in Iba community, a Moha local government area of the state. The force said the probe was to unravel the root cause of the inferno, which it said was due to pipeline vandalism, saying the culprits would be apprehended and brought to justice. Earlier, the state spokesman for the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Lufemi Ayodele, while confirming the incident in a statement, said 18 people were burned beyond recognition, while 25 injured victims were rescued. The police said 15 people died, while 20 suffered various forms of injuries in the incident that occurred on Sunday night. Back here, Kwabam State Governor Umoina has warned the newly appointed personal assistants to live within their ward areas or risk being sacked. The governor gave the warning in the Yoruba state capital while inaugurating the 368 PAs in the state. He stated that he would not hesitate to sack any of them found not living in his ward, while urging them to follow his footsteps and serve the people. We move now to Africa, where no fewer than 90 schoolgirls in a Kenyan school have been reported ill after having difficulties working. Kenyan health authorities say the health crisis is currently under investigation as students have been admitted to hospital. Reports say the female students from Eregi Girls High School, located in the western part of the country, showed symptoms of knee pain. Speaking on Newsman, the regional director of education, Jared Obioro, said that the education department, the country government, and public health department are giving a commitment that the children will be treated. Still in Africa, Ethiopia and the European Union have signed a cooperation agreement worth 650 million euros. The EU Commissioner for International Partnership, Jutta Urielianen, announced the agreement during a press conference with Ethiopian Finance Minister Ahmet Sidi in the capital Addis Ababa, describing the aid package as the first concrete step in this process after a ceasefire ended the war last November. Urielianen added that it is time to gradually normalize relations and rebuild a mutually reinforcing partnership with Ethiopia. Meanwhile, Ethiopia's Prime Minister Ahmed said the aid would help boost Ethiopia's post-war recovery and facilitate badly needed economic reforms at a critical juncture for the country as the strategic partnership is now back on track.
The EU has been supporting Ethiopia's reform effort. That process has been slowed down because of the impact on our relationship. Now, signing of MIP will enable us to move back into a normal development partnerships.
The multi-annual indicative program, which we are launching today, is the concrete first step towards normalization. It renews the EU's commitment to work together with the EU member states as part of Team Europe to contribute to Ethiopia's stability, post-conflict reconstruction, and macroeconomic recovery.
The EU has been supporting Ethiopia's reform effort. That process has been slowed down because of the impact on our relationship. Now, signing of MIP will enable us to move back into a normal development partnerships.
The multi-annual indicative program, which we are launching today, is the concrete first step towards normalization. It renews the EU's commitment to work together with the EU member states as part of Team Europe to contribute to Ethiopia's stability, post-conflict reconstruction, and macroeconomic recovery.
On a foreign scene, US President Joe Biden has announced new steps to help people affected by the Supreme Court's cancelling of his student loan forgiveness program. Reports say Biden has unveiled $90 billion in debt relief for 125,000 people, the latest in a series of measures announced by the Democrats this week as he eyes re-election in 2024. Meanwhile, this comes after the ousting of House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in an unprecedented move yesterday. Still on the foreign scene, at least 21 people have been killed, including 2 children, when a passenger bus plunged from a bridge in Mestre, Italy, near Venice. Venice Mayor Luigi Brunaro told newsmen that the bus was traveling from Venice to nearby Maghera and was full of people returning home from work before it went off the road and flew into the bridge. Meanwhile, the chief of staff of the prefecture of Venice, Francisco Martino, said 18 people were also injured in the crash and that authorities were still trying to determine what caused it. Still to come in the news, Aina dethrones Awoniyi, wins Forest Best Player award. Just stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now to the rest of our news stories. On the business news, the British and the United States government have expressed their readiness to partner the federal government to develop the newly created Marine and Blue Economy Ministry. Representatives of the country stated this in Abuja during their separate meetings with the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboyega Oyetola. The U.S. delegation was led by the Senior Coordinator for Atlantic Cooperation, Ambassador Jesse Lapine, while that of the British was led by the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Dr. Richard Montgomery. Meanwhile, the minister stated that both governments said the partnership would boost Nigeria's growth. Still in business, the federal government has launched a 150 billion naira sukuk issuance to raise funds for the construction and rehabilitation of roads and bridges across the country. The Debt Management Office, DMO, opened the application list for subscription to the 150 billion naira Ijare sukuk, stating that the sukuk is issued by Federal Government of Nigeria, Roads Sukuk Company PLC, on behalf of the federal government. He added that the Ijare sukuk was classified as liquid asset by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and certified by the Financial Regulation Advisory Council of Experts of the CBN. Meanwhile, sukuk is a non-interest asset-backed instrument based on the principles of Islamic finance. The federal government has called on governors of the 19 states with confirmed cases of diphtheria to reintroduce face masks wearing at public gatherings. The federal government said the advice was necessary because the confirmed cases had soared to 8,406. The cases were recorded in 114 local government areas in 18 of 36 states and Abuja. Meanwhile, the federal government charged the general public to make use of their face masks to stop the spread of diphtheria. Still in health, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA, says 6 states account for a staggering 97% of all reported diphtheria cases in the country. According to the agency's Director General, Dr. Faisal Shoaib, who spoke at the diphtheria outbreak response press conference in Abuja, the affected states are Kano, Yobe, Katsina, Borno, Kaduna, and Bauchi. Director General further said that the 6 states were bearing the brunt of the disease in the country, stressing that Kano alone carries the weight of over 84% of the cases, making it the epicenter of the outbreak. Meanwhile, the Director General stated that campaigns are carried out to stop the spread of the disease. In sports, Nigerian defender Ola Aina has been voted as Nottingham Forest Player of the Month of September. According to the club, Aina received 40% of the total votes cast by fans and succeeds his compatriot Taiwa Woniyi, who won the award in August. Recall that in the month under review, Aina featured 3 times for the Tricky Trees when they beat Chelsea 1-0 at Stamford Bridge, followed by a 1-1 draw at the City Ground against Burnley and a 2-0 defeat to Manchester City. Meanwhile, the 26-year-old has made a positive impression since joining Forest on a free transfer and recently said he's enjoying life at the City Ground. Still in sports, Real Madrid moved to the top of the Champions League Group C following a 3-2 win over Napoli. Reports say this was made possible by Federico Valverde's own goal. Meanwhile, Vinicius Jr. and Jude Bellingham at the 19th minute. On our entertainment news, Ghanaian singer and rapper Black Sherif has bagged his first BET award for Best International Flow at the just-ended 2023 Hip Hop Awards. Reports say Black Sherif beat 9 other rappers for the award, including the late aka K.O. from South Africa and Sampa the Great from Zimbabwe. Recall that Black Sherif grabbed his first nomination for the Best International Flow last year, but lost the award to Benjamin Epps. Meanwhile, the show, which was taped in Atlanta yesterday, will be shown live on 10th October. October. Still on entertainment news, Canadian musician and songwriter Claire Butcher, popularly known as Grimes, is taking legal action against her ex Elon Musk over their children. Reports say the Crystal Ball singer, who shares 3 children with the Tesla CEO, has filed a petition seeking to establish parental rights. Meanwhile, Elon, who split from Grimes in March 2022 after 4 years of dating, is yet to formally respond to the filing. And that's all we have for you this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTV.live.ng. You've been watching Spectrum TV News at 2. I am Francis Oyima Edit. Many thanks for being there and do enjoy the rest of your day.